Howdy, welcome back to another video. This week we are up at the Devil's Punch Bowl Conservation Area, a very small patch of land, but very well maintained, and it has a very beautiful cross, sort of as a central focus. I'm gonna put up some B-roll so you guys can see it from my drone flight. Today, the very first day of coming up here, it's very windy, so we're definitely gonna come back again tomorrow, have another look around, see how it is. But today it's very cloudy, very moody almost. And the breeze is just beautiful right now. It's about 27 degrees, 28 degrees out. Well, let's walk around. I'll show you guys this place. So now that we've come up here, the very first shot I'm looking at is a panorama of the entire cityscape, at least 4 or 5 shots, and then I'll stitch them together later in Photoshop just to give a bit of a broader view of the area. Definitely, I think a land panorama will be perfect up here. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind, especially when doing a panorama. The high wind right now, it is going to cause sled a bit of a problem, especially with, I'm going to have to use at least, let's say about a half second or so. Well, we'll see what we can do, because we want to try to keep the shutter speed quick enough that the leaves moving around don't introduce too much kind of blur in it. We'll either have to wait for a gust of the wind to die down, which right now it is not doing, or we're going to have to bump up the ISO a fair amount just so we can increase the shutter speed. Now let's level this off. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan my camera all around while checking out the histogram, just to make sure there's no bright spots, because you want the same settings throughout the entire pano, or it really throws off the final effect. So I'm going to grab the camera and show you guys. Wow, that wind is crazy right now. So the histogram you see up right now, I have it set right now at 1/50th of a second at f8, and it puts it right in the center. Now, we do not want anything touching on the far right, so we can increase it a little bit, but we don't want to go too much, because when we come over here, where the sun is rising, you can see how the histogram is peaking and getting closer to the right side, which means it's getting brighter. But it still does not totally touch the edge right there. You can still see a little bit of gap, which is perfect. We're going to focus on the far distant background. All right, there's the second photograph. And this will be the 5th photograph for the pano. Well, let's keep hiking around, see if we can see another photograph. All right. So this is now the second day. We are back up at the Devil's Punch Bowl. Unfortunately, today is very cloudy, like it's really socked in. So we're gonna have to try to do a little bit of creative photography, but just looking out over the city right now, the cloud cover does give it some very moody atmosphere. So we should be able to find something, and I hope it's not gonna rain. Kind of looks like it might. Now, with the low level of light, I'm gonna try to do a bit of a cityscape. We may try another pano, so I'll kind of compare the two of them yesterday when there was a little bit more light than today where it's much darker. Riding up here this morning, there was a lot less wind. So today the ride was just beautiful. Of course, not saying the weather won't change. The wind is picking up a little bit, but right now it is beautiful out. All right, so we're gonna level off the tripod first, make sure everything's even. Same thing as I said yesterday. Wow. So we're gonna do f11 today, 1 3/10 of a second, ISO 100. Now, to make sure you do the same thing again, we're gonna check the histogram just to see if there are any spikes in the photo. We're gonna do the same 5 photos as yesterday. So we're gonna make sure we have it bright enough. Now, because one 1/6 seconds, 1.6 seconds, f11, ISO 100. So there's the first one. There's the third. And there's the fourth. And there's the fifth. So we're looking from that peak all the way there on the left side, here. all the way across to this ridge again, getting this entire beautiful panorama of the city in it. The crickets are out right now too, and crows apparently. Somehow we pissed one of them off. Put my pants into my shoes so that way I don't catch any bugs or any ticks or anything. And we'll go for a hike around here. I'm pretty sure I've seen some interesting colored plants around, but if not, we'll have a nice little hike out here this morning. The temperature is much cooler compared to yesterday. It's probably about 20 degrees right now, and it's so nice out. Makes you absolutely enjoy coming out here. You can hardly see Toronto through the, I guess, haze. On Toronto, it should be over there somewhere. Oh, you can just see the CN Tower. Yeah, there's definitely not enough information for me to be able to zoom in that far. Still, that's really cool. Oh, apparently somebody was firing off fireworks from here. So a cherry bomb left in the ground. Wow, there are a lot of dragonflies up here. This is crazy. Oh, so we are on the Bruce Trail again. Huh. I have some blue honeysuckles or something over here. I wonder what these are. Oh, I like the color. That is really nice. Well, we're really close to the car park. So I came upon this little pop of blue, and I was thinking, what if we were to do a top-down view? Something maybe a little like this, or a bit closer more over to this. Although we also, right behind it, have a very nice tree. So I might be able to frame up both of those. All right, so for this one, I found these beautiful blue flowers just sort of sitting here perfectly over this tree in the backdrop. So the flowers as the foreground are a nice little image, but that post and that tree are kind of ugly. 1/20th of a second, f2.2, ISO 100, and we were focusing in on the blue flowers right in the foreground. 2-second timer, perfect. Now I lowered down the camera. With my tripod, I lowered down the camera stem a little bit just to get the right angle as to not have too much of the backdrop. But most importantly, if you look at the photograph, is except for a little bit through the trees where the foliage is not quite as dense up here in the top, there's almost no sky, no background. That is very intentional as there's very little light today. Well, we got the one photograph out of today. I think that one's actually one of my favorites. I'm gonna go back over and check on that one location we found earlier, just to see if there's any difference in the color. And then we'll head back to the scooter. Oh, that's weird. That face kind of looks like the tree looks like there's a face in it. 1 second, let me know what you guys think. In the comments below, tell me if this looks like a face or not. It kind of does, to me. Looks like Bigfoot either stepped in it or his face got rammed through it. Oh, today was an amazing day of photography. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the pictures, and catch you guys again in the next one.